See, the banks won't tell you the truth about what is happening behind the scenes and why we're even having this discussion about debt discharge. So let me just break down exactly what happens. All right. So this is you. All right. This is you. Okay. Don't butcher you. All right. Now, this is that loan agreement, or in other words, that loan agreement is a promissory note. Okay. Then here's the bank. Okay. Don't butcher this. This is my bank. And then here's a bigger bank. Okay. All right. All right. So this is what happens. All right. So you go and you sign this loan agreement. Okay. You sign this loan agreement. This loan agreement, because of your signature, now becomes a financial asset to the bank. Okay. So the bank, this loan agreement, this financial asset goes to this bank. Let's just say it's a $10,000 loan. Okay. This $10,000 loan or $10,000 promise to pay note now goes to this bank, and this bank is a middleman and sends it to or exchanges it with the Federal Reserve. Okay. So this is the Federal Reserve. Okay. And this right here is, we're just going to put BOA. We're not going to say a bank's name. So they take this 10,000, and what happens is they're able to multiply this 10,000 They're able to multiply this 10,000 okay, to 100,000 because of fractional banking. Okay. Now, I want you to understand that this has a $10,000 value. Your signature gave this a $10,000 value if you're getting a $10,000 loan. But also at the same time, it has value to be able to be multiplied because of fractional banking. All of this is written in Modern Money Mechanics. So what happens is they are supposed to not get this here, and they're supposed to take 10,000 out of this and give it back to you, okay, in lawful money or Federal Reserve notes, okay? But instead of giving you this, they deposit $10,000 into your bank account. The definition of deposits is, in law, a unpaid balance, okay? An unpaid balance. It's very interesting because if you have an unpaid balance, then it means they actually owe you money, right? And it's a book entry. Okay, all of this is written in the Modern Money Mechanics. And instead of giving you the actual 10 grand in lawful money, they keep all of this to themselves. Now, for fractional banking, they're supposed to take this, or at least 90,000 of this, okay? And supposed to take 90,000 of this and actually loan it out to other people. Instead of what they actually do, because they don't do this, they keep all the money. Instead of what they actually do is they have them also put in their applications to redo this cycle again. And meanwhile, each person, they put in a $10,000 loan is worth $100,000 a piece. Okay. So they'll put you in the mind frame that this isn't happening behind the scenes. And because you don't know that this isn't happening behind the scenes, you get jumbled up in your head. Okay. You get jumbled up in your head about owing the bank money that you actually created. Okay? When you look at UCC 1-304, okay, no, it could be UCC 3-401. I don't want to butcher. I'll get it straight. But under the UCC, it says the signature, okay, Jane Doe actually creates the obligation. This is the obligation, okay? And when you look at 18 U.S.C. 8, it says obligations are guaranteed or issued by the United States, insured by the United States. So no matter what, whether they get paid by you, okay, they're getting paid from the Federal Reserve multiple times. The United States will also pay it, okay? USA will also pay it, okay? Insurance companies, okay, will pay it, this fake debts or obligations. And not only that, the IRS will pay it through 1099s. Okay, they can fill out a 1099 and charge off the obligation. And this becomes taxable income to the bank. So, the point of me bringing this up is because this right here is the bank fraud that I am talking about. This is exactly why we are on a journey of discharging debt and challenging debt collectors. This is why you are able to pretty much shift the burden of proof and have them prove that this is not happening. Okay? Because if they can't prove that they're actually loaning you money, if they can prove that they've actually given you the 10 grand from their reserves, okay, and didn't just run this play on you so that they can get 100 grand, then that's when you have to pay. But the reality is they cannot prove that this is not happening because it's already written. You dig what I'm saying? It's written in stone. All right? So the question is, what do you do about this? All right? You take a company, right, or a bank through an administrative process, admin process, okay, where now this is written communication in letter form. Notice how I'm not telling you to call them and complain about this, but you take them through an admin process and literally ask them the questions and have them and you give them your truths and what you know, and now they must disprove it. This is what's called the conditional acceptance process. This is where you validate debts. Okay? Even this right here happening, we're not even talking about securitization. Securitization. I'll butcher that, look. You dig what I'm saying? So many ways that the bank actually commits fraud and literally induce you into believing that they loaned you money, but the reality is they never loaned you money. They only taken your bond. Now, when they don't loan you money, in contract law, that's where they are literally lacking consideration. Okay? Consideration is a fundamental aspect of contract law. If your contract lacks consideration, this whole you owing them, you agree to pay 10 grand back, is now void. Okay? I put unvoid, but it's now void. This is a voided agreement. So this is why we do this. Thanks for watching this video. I hope I'm able to put this whole video on Instagram. TikTok, whatever the case may be, YouTube. If it's on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. You dig what I'm saying? Tap in to the Discord community. I love you guys. And let me know if you want more content like this.